Hello, everyone. We are here with something we don't know the name of yet. This is the Caliber Chat. We haven't figured out what we're going to call it. We are here because we've been talking with some friends of ours. These are the guys from the Philippine Watch Club. We've known them longer than C, Caliber, or the Philippine Watch Club in a lot of cases, and you will meet them soon. But what we like about them is that they are internet-based group that just kind of came together. They don't have any particular theme. They don't have any particular structure in the sense that these watches are cool, these are not. They just have a wide range of interests in terms of watches and other things. And it is their 10th anniversary. We were involved with them with the preparation of their anniversary, which was a book and a watch. We kind of just sat back and watched them do it. It's an awesome piece of work, and we'll be sharing that with you. We're going to bring them in now. There are three other guys, so there'll be four of us, and here they all are. We have Oye Flores, we have
Hello.
Raffy David, we have Kai Wang. Now, Oye here, I have known since before all of this, and we used to chat cars and watches while he played a higher level of badminton than I did. Raffy David, I know, but I was closer to his dad because he would do sports car racing. Kai Huang is one of the guys who he's here because he shot the book, he photographed the book. We know him because he used to be one of the few people we trusted for shooting cars for C. And then he moved away from us and went into girls and stuff. So, but his watches pictures are awesome. So, everyone, this is the core behind the 10th anniversary celebration book and watch of the Philippine Watch Club. And we are going to talk to Oye about how this all started. Oye, how did this come about?
Well, the Philippine Watch Club was actually a offshoot of another internet or online-based forum called Pinoy Horology. They were probably 2 years older than us. That was a long time ago. It was the only Filipino-based watch forum, watch community. And somewhere along the way, they had some technical issues, and we invited them to start another group, which was the Philippine Watch Club. Unfortunately, the Pinoy Horology forum did not make it through the years. I think they've closed already. And the Philippine Watch Club was the one that stayed on. The Philippine Watch Club was a group started by four individuals who were all members of Pinoy Horology, and it's actually interesting because it's a very diverse group of people. No, you have somebody who's a physician. I'm sorry, we were five. There's somebody who's a physician, somebody who was a corporate executive, another person who was somebody who ran a family business. There was myself, who was also a member, an employee in a family business, and somebody who worked for an airline. Five people from very diverse backgrounds who actually just had a common passion, and that was for watches. And we started, it started from a concern of the technical issues from the previous watch group, which led us to create this new one. And I guess 10 years later and 23,000 and a half members later, this is where we are.
That's cool. What did you, what was how did you start it? Did you start it as a forum? Did you start it as a group? Was it just a chat group?
It was really a forum, no? How it started was the original one, the Pinoy Horology. It was a watch forum as well, but they allowed advertisements and they allowed third-party advertisements, which to us it was a bit difficult because you would have stuff from outside of the Philippines that would also put in ads for, well, the difficulty was they were actually doing replica watches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And for us, that was an issue. That's why when we moved to the Philippine Watch Club, if if you look at it now, it's completely private. There are no ads. There are no membership fees. It's really funded by just the efforts of the members, no, those 5 founding members. So we do not invite people to come in. There are no sponsorships. So we feel that with us, it's really more. There's no biases, no, and it's open to anyone and everyone. We have members from different countries. We also have foreigners who are members. And really, the only thing we have in common is a passion for horology and watches, wristwatch.
All right. All right. Well, that sounds good. Now, so you're hitting your 10th anniversary. You hit your 10th. When did you actually hit it, by the way? Last
It
year?
was the 7th of January in 2020.
In
So
2020.
early this
Okay.
year.
So when we were talking before, that was preparatory to the actual anniversary, and I remember you were hoping to
Right.
get it out ahead of time, and you're putting this all together. How did you end up deciding that this is what you were going to do, and how hard was it to get everyone together and have Kai shoot all the watches and so on?
Well, the book
We should share the
project
book.
was launched.
Sorry, this is
Sorry?
the book. It's an awesome book.
Oh.
Sorry, I forgot about that.
Yes. The book project was started, I would say, around July of 2019.
Yeah.
What we wanted to do was to invite members of the community to share with us stories about how they acquired or different stories about how they acquired different wristwatches, no? Parts of their collection. And we have about 65 different stories in this book by various members. It was actually quite difficult in the beginning to put it all together, because as you will imagine, these are mementos and things that are very important to people. So it's hard to coordinate having these guys come to one place, have pictures taken, and all of that, and also the preparation of the text or the stories behind them. It's actually very interesting if you come to read or take a look at some of the stories. It is really it's varied. No, you have people who talk about milestone watches or things that they lusted for or wanted to to buy to commemorate a special occasion in their lives.
Mhm.
Others who got things that were hand-me-downs from their parents, their grandfathers. Then there are others who really just had a fascination for things mechanical, and they really worked hard. And they said, if I one day, if I'm successful, I would be able to buy this or that. For others, it was also a story of chance. How there's one story there that's very interesting about this one guy who chanced upon someone in an airport who and he managed to get a watch that was very very rare, very sought after. We also have some commissions. There's there are watches there that were ordered by a group from one of the top tier Swiss watch companies, and they had something made for them, specifically for them. You have also stories of people who I'm looking at it now. What you're showing there, that's a one, well, sort of one-off. It's a watch that was modified. It's actually my watch. It was it's really, it shows how people express their passions for certain things, no? And what they're willing to do, and what they're willing to give up to get there, or to get those to acquire these things. You're now showing that's the commission, where I think there were 5 watches, no? um
Six.
oh, sorry, I can't. 6, yeah, 6 watches.
Yeah.
They're all made. It's a special run by Audemars Piguet for these guys, for those members.
All right. Well, what I like about this is as you go through it, people will. It's a very well put together book. It's extremely well shot. Thank you, Kai. But it's an And it's got no girls, so that's good. Okay, let me explain that. Kai is a very, very well-known photographer for women and models and so on. But our group, which is the C Magazine group, we would always avoid any kind of risque photography or even advertising. So when I say no girls, it's because we never had women in our magazines in that way. Having never mind all that, because I didn't want to insult anybody. But what I liked about the book is that people think it's going to be this big, expensive collection of people with way watches that are just way too costly for everybody, but that's really, really not the case. As Oya pointed out, you can have a $50 watch and you can have a $500,000 watch, both in this book. And the first thing you open to here, this is a bunch of vintage Seikos. Okay, so what I really like about that, and this has happened to me, is that being how connected we are in this industry, people look at our watches, and quite often when I'm wearing a Seiko, people will pay more attention because they're like, oh, it's great. We thought you only wore whatever. And it really opens things up. And a lot of people would look at this book and say, oh, that's not for me, but it really is. It's for everybody, and that's kind of the point. If you look at this, okay, well, what they put up on the screen right now is a Longines. And it looks like a very plain Longines, but it's actually a great story to it. And who's going to tell us that story? Raffy or Hoya?
That would be me. No?
That would be you. Okay.
Well, yeah, the story of the PWC watch. We set out looking to do a commemorative watch for the 10th anniversary. We did one for the first anniversary, and that was what brand was that, Kuya? Steinhardt. Steinhardt. Yeah,
Steinhardt. Yeah.
And then
we did one too.
Yeah. Sorry. We did one for the. And then we did one for the 5th anniversary. It was very nice PWC Nomos, no? And that Nomos, sabi ko, wow, tough act to follow, di ba? And ganyan. So we went about looking at our options for what we would make as the 10th anniversary watch. We'd have to make it as special and as we could. So there were so many things being considered, di ba? There was Seiko, Grand Seiko. There was even more expensive stuff and whatever, but we had to find something which was at the right price point lang. At the price point that would be welcoming to many people, whether it would be people who wear more modestly priced watches, trying to reach up for it, being a special piece, or people that have way more expensive watches and would still be able to respect as a something of history and quality, just like the club, diba? So and then there are a lot of watches now wherein people come, they get a watch, they stamp a brand on the dial or stamp a commemorative something on the dial, and that's it. I said, we all talked about it and we said that, hey, we can't do that. I mean, we're Philippine Watch Club. It should be a little bit more than that, a little more effort. So we got in touch with Longines who is a very storied, very old watchmaking brand in Switzerland, diba? 1832, working out the same location. And we did so through their local representative, Lucerne. And they put us through. We met with the representative of Longines who came over. And we said that we would like to have a special commission done for the 10th anniversary. He said, very good. We'd be happy to do it. We're proud to do it with you guys. And then they said, how many? And then we said 55. Okay, 55, but we can only deliver you 54. Because number one will be kept in the Longines Museum on display. When they said, I go, that's okay. No problem. Right, to be on display in Saint-Pierre, in Switzerland. So I said, okay, great, another milestone for the club. If you take a look right now on the screen, you'll be able to see the photograph of Kai at the back of the watch. You see Philippine Watch Club, 10th anniversary. You see, this engraving is something which is, of course, right, unique to the watch, and this is the only telltale sign really on the actual watch head. But apart from this, we also enlisted the help of a local artisan who makes straps.
Mhm.
And if you see that strap that's on the watch now, which is I'm wearing too, no, it's navy shell cordovan.
Mhm.
So Paul, Paulo 18, who's a strap maker based in Pampanga, made special navy shell cordovan strap for each of the 55 watches also. Um, I think that this is really a supreme effort by the club and a great thing that we can give to our members that are more than happy to go out and buy them. What we did is we bundled the watch at a price which was even below what it's sold at in stores for
Mhm.
our members, and it's exclusive to members only. And we also bundled it with the book and the extra strap and extra buckle from Longines as well. So I think that's and it comes with a certificate, a special certificate and all. I
Mhm.
think that's no, it's really something that I'm very proud of because I was part of it from the start.
No, no, I think it's great. And I gotta say that what I was really impressed with was the conversation I was listening to you guys have when we all met up about this. And you were deciding, you were making some final decisions about what you would want to do, what brand, what. Well, I think it already nailed down the brand. But the point you guys are making was, we could make this insanely expensive, but this isn't about that type of exclusivity. It's about the bringing together of all these different people. So it has to be something that is accessible and within reach. And its specialness is not because of its price. Its
Mm-hmm.
specialness is because of the story and the camaraderie, if you want to call it that. And that was nice because, and we all know this, way too many times watches just become about the price or the ability to get them or what they are to someone else. And this watch, I think it's great. The minute I saw it, it looked awesome. But it's not screaming attention, getting in any way if you see it on someone's wrist. But if the right person sees it on the wrist, they're going to go nuts, right? So I was really, really glad when we were sitting down and you guys were aiming at something exactly like this. So very, very cool.
Yeah, you're
Very
absolutely
well
right
done.
because if you take a look at the book, no, you'll see all kinds of watches that are part of it
Hmm.
at all price points. And really, if you take another better sign is for you to take even just 30 minutes and browse the community itself, no,
Hmm.
philippinewatchclub.org. And the community is still up now. It's a forum, one of the few remaining online forums out there, and it's a wealth of information. It I really think that the longevity of it has something to do with its members being collector types. Kasi you have people that start out the threads, right? The discussion threads. And then you being the thread starter, you take ownership of that discussion thread and you try to keep it going, plugging along. Yung parang, when discussion has died down a bit, you come back, you try to look through it, respond, spice it up a bit, and ganyan. Very different from the Facebook style approach, because Facebook, you post something,
Yes.
it gets discussed for about 1-2 days, and then it's history. Wala na. The next time you see it is in your memories feed or something like that, and ganyan. In an online forum, it becomes a repository for information, whether it be opinion or actual information. That's a different thing. But then
Hmm.
again, it's a growing and living thing talaga. Kaya people still turn to it. There's still room for it pa rin
Hmm.
as something in today's Facebook dominated world. And then,
Hmm. No, no, it's
can-
quite nice. Who is Kai? I was going to ask you a question.
Yes.
A lot of the time, when you look at it, it's something like this, people think, yeah, it's about watches, and even we as our publishing group, people have always said, yeah, it's just about expensive watches or cars. Like, no, it's not. These all have a story behind them, and getting that story out is extremely hard to do because people just pigeonhole you as this is expensive watches, this is whatever. But how hard was it? I mean, Kai, when you were shooting these guys and you were shooting their watches, and you're not showing people, right? But you're showing. Sometimes you have a single image like this one here, but sometimes you have what tells the story. Was it hard to do that for you, Kai, to get this I guess character?
Di naman. In the first place, we asked the owners for the backstory for the watches. Like for example, like this one, ito yung first watch niya for the baby girl yata, I think.
Mhm.
So supposed to be pamana niya sa anak niya paglaki. So we try to include elements like that, and then historic pieces or props are related to the watches. So when you look at the photo, mas complete yung story.
So what were the what I was wondering was, what were the funny stories you guys heard from all this? What were the things that surprised you? What's your favorite story?
Oh yeah,
Favorite
ikaw,
stories.
what's yours?
There
Or what did you
actually
not know
quite a few
before
for
this?
me. Sorry.
What did you not know about that you only found out now during this?
Oh, well, I mentioned it earlier. No? There was this story of chance for one of our members who happened to be in an airport on his way home, who wasn't at all interested or looking for something, and he was walking down the aisle and he saw this person who was pushing a trolley along full of stuff, and he went to the guy and said, listen, this is your lucky day, come follow me. And the member said, okay, and followed. Apparently it was a guy who was delivering watches to the Rolex boutique in an airport, and he said, I have a Daytona here. It was a white dial, I believe X series Daytona. One of quite it was a transition piece, and the guy bought it, and it's really just chance. This picture that's here in front is about somebody's dream watch, I think, when he was a kid, and
Yeah.
and it also developed into a passion and hobby for diving. That's why he wanted to share this story about that watch and what it meant to him. If you go through the book, that's what you will find. No, very. It's about conquests. It's about turning points in one's life. In this case, and what's in front of me here, it's the union of two people, and to commemorate that, they got a timepiece for each other, and I'm sure every time they look at these things, they will be reminded of who they're married to, or the union that they have. No? You will see. This is a very interesting story as well. It was a watch of a physician, and he was talking about how when he was working hard, and how he felt that one day, to commemorate all the hardship that he did, becoming and seeking that profession, one day he would be able to gift himself with something. That's the story of that particular watch. There are others. This is another one of, again, somebody who had a passion for diving, and this was the watch that started it all for him. If you will go through the Philippine Watch Club, you'll notice that many people are actually hobbyists. No? I, for one, I do have my first passion really was cars. So you will find it in you 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 will find that in the things I do as well. And then it moved into watches and also diving as well. So it's that's what's nice about our group. No? I mean, it's the diversity of both the people involved and their interests, and how they're able to share that with the community. If you go through your Raffy mentioned earlier about going the forum, you will find that there are very many threads on different topics. I mean, it could be about burgers, food in
Jeans,
general. We even have, yeah,
jeans,
we even talk about jeans or
sneakers.
whatnot. It's that's what's nice about the community, you know. I mean, it's really not it's really not about trophies in the sense, now look at me, I have
Oh,
this, or look at me, I have that. It's really people just expressing their passion about certain things. And the vision really is, it we hope to be able to encourage others to seek these passions as well, no? I mean, it could be about jeans, it could be about, there was somebody who asked about where's the best burger in town, or where's the best steak in town. So that's what the Philippine Watch Club is about. It's really about one sharing what drives them, what makes them tick. We the our byline in our in the Philippines Watch Club is what makes you tick. No, it's all about what makes you tick, and that's what we hope to share with everybody. And that's the same thing about this book. No, it's a compilation of these many stories. I think this one here is somebody who's a doctor.
Yeah.
Yes, that's actually his profession. He's a ophthalmologist, talking about this particular watch, and I think that's his father.
sorry, to me naman, what I'd like to add also is, talking about, because I'm also in other watch groups as well, no? But the watches, this is what's common lang, di ba? In the other groups, di ba? It's always about the watches again. But then again, the difference in real collector communities like PWC and the others is that it's not just about what the watch is and how much it costs and it ends there. There's always some deeper connection between the person and the hobby of collecting watches. So this book was a way for our members to share yung story nila about that. Like that this current photo. These watches are birth year watches of the owner, and these watches were they were carefully purchased one after the other after the other, as the availability of these particular watches came about. Like if you take a look at the last two on the right, are Seiko, older Seikos, wherein at the back of the watch, it actually says the the production date and month, the production year and month of the watch. So these two things, these are watches wherein it's such a special find, diba? And the way these watches were found were through the community as well. That's the story. Ako, in one of the articles that I wrote in the book, my first line was, we get out of it as much we get out of it as much as we put in. So a lot of guys, they feel that they feel that as well, and they feel a deeper satisfaction, a deeper enjoyment for the hobby that they've gotten into by way of being part of a community and learning more and sharing about the watch. I have a question. Can I ask a question too? And,
Yes.
my question's for Kai. Kai, do you have tips for taking pictures of watches like this? Para
That's interesting.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
the answer is hire Kai.
yeah, I know. I did that too. But
Well,
it's
syempre,
different, eh.
I think the best is, well, natural light is always nice. But when you can't, it's hard kasi most watches have reflective surfaces, especially the dome. Lalo na yung mga vintage Rolex. My God, ang hirap. So you just have to incorporate environment, perhaps. So natural light would be the best na in that case. Or like what we do, we incorporate props like something that relate to the story of the watch, story of the owner, to make it more relatable to people. And syempre, it tells a story na rin, di ba? So, yeah. Pwedeng you can use your, yes.
No. There was a photo that you just shared.
Yeah. Which one?
uh, of you shooting. Where'd it go?
I shared. It's in the chat actually.
Yeah.
I
No, I
can
didn't mean to interrupt.
I
Sorry.
can
What I was saying was this is a whole other conversation, Kai. We're gonna have a chat just about this. As
just
in what how
about
to shoot.
yeah, there
There
you
you
go.
go.
Wow, look at that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
The
Kai says,
the
yeah,
whole thing
natural
was done
lighting, yes,
in
all this, but in reality, Kai is extremely, insanely professional about this.
no,
You know,
well, I
he's
mean, this is for every man. I mean, like
yeah,
for me, no. Let's say I'm in the car, Carl, ako, and for the club or and for whatever for the other communities where I post, like the Caliber community, I post there, right? When I take pictures of my watches there, and I'm in the car, I roll down the window, even if my cars don't have tint. I roll down the window because even the color of the glass
yes,
has an effect on
yeah.
your skin, has an effect on the dial color, and it really gives it a certain it gives it a certain glow for it to be rendered properly, for you to get the white balance properly without having to tinker with it too much. I just tend to
Kai,
use my camera phone.
yeah. Kai, who shot this photo of you?
I
Is it
think it is
Rafi?
Raffy.
Raffy yata.
It's actually quite nice.
I
Huh?
did.
It's quite nice.
Thanks.
So
And
Thanks.
he just snuck that through.
Yeah,
well, sometimes it's
chamba yan,
about
chamba.
sometimes it's about emotion as well. And we had that issue, and Kai will remember this. We had this issue before with again with C and shooting cars because we would at one point we hired a lot of top names and they would give us perfect photos that we as car guys didn't find love in. You know, they didn't draw us out, they didn't whatever. And then that's the difference. If you look at Kai's stuff, a lot of it is it is technically perfect, but he also he shapes the light in a way that you can feel the warmth, you can feel the
Mm.
precision, you can feel everything. And it's an he translates an emotion. I think he's blushing. He translates the emotion that we feel, and that's kind of the key point. It doesn't have to be perfect or everything. It's the emotion. We really like it. Kai, here's another question for you. What was your favorite shoot, and what was your favorite story from all of this that you remember the most?
Actually, ang takeaway ko talaga yung pagkain nila, oh yeah, sobrang sarap.
Yun talaga yun rin sasabihin ko eh.
Sobrang, yun talaga panalo. I mean, worth going there every weekend just to, aside from seeing the nice watches, yung food talaga, wow, wow,
Wow
panalo,
talaga.
panalo.
Carl, you
Alright.
wouldn't believe it, no? Oh yeah, just wag ka nang comment ha.
That's not
All
true.
of the shoots were done on the same table in Oya's house, okay? That one corner you see in the photo right there.
Mhm.
And all the food, every single time, you really felt like, oh my God, diba? He really pulled out all the stuff for us here. And it was excellent every single time. And he really tried his darndest best not to repeat, ha? And I noticed that also. Not to repeat. Kung steak ngayon, next week, iba naman, prime rib naman, and ganyan, iba eh. Winning talaga.
That was a
But
fun
that
time.
was
Those
nice
are fun
also.
times.
Pare, the time we spent at your house taking these photos with the other members, actually meeting a lot of the members that we've interacted with online for so many years, and just talking about it and ganyan. Pare, talagang precious times yan.
It's actually
Precious
that's
times
true. No, I mean
talaga.
you there's so many sort of long distance relationships. No, people that you will have a friendly discourse with. Sometimes it gets a little bit heated, and it's interesting. And sometimes it's to finally put a face to the name or the handle. No,
Mm.
it's actually quite interesting. And you're right. There many of us, many of those 40 or 50 different members actually would have met for the first time face to face
At
here
your
when we were
house.
taking pictures.
At your house.
It's quite,
Talaga. And then, yung parang, you'd hear it every couple of hours. Na yung, ikaw pala yun. Di ba?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
ganun. And then
Yeah.
it's always, I remember when you said this so and so number of years ago and ganyan. Ah, okay talaga. As in, that's where you felt that the community was even more alive. and ganyan. PWC kasi is being an online forum. You have handles. I don't have a handle because my handle is my name and ganyan. But then again, I know Kai had a handle. Oy has got a handle. Almost everyone's got a handle, and you can hide behind your handle all you want. You can be a troublemaker. You can be your own online persona, whichever way you want it, and ganyan. But once you're able to really connect and find that person behind the handle and the personality and being able to see what kind of person he is, what he eats, what he likes, how he eats, and whatever, it finally connects now why he's into this kind of watch, why he likes his watch like this, why he would be crazy enough to trim the lugs of a brand new GMT or something like that, di ba? Ano iba? Galing.
Hi.
For
Well,
us, localized community, pero galing talaga.
I wouldn't. I don't know if I would say localized. I think you're actually.
It's rather it's nice that it's localized, Carl. Kasi one of the most visited parts of the site is the marketplace, and the marketplace is where members can help other members out.
Yeah.
By moving on from stuff that they want to sell because they want to buy another watch or ganyan, or they other members who are buying watches can go to for watches that are of reputable quality, because our marketplace at PwC has a lot of very strict criteria for posting, and like you won't even see the marketplace until you're 50 posts in, diba? And ganyan. And when you go to the marketplace, and again, there's a strict grading system that you have to follow before you put your watch up for sale, and you have to describe it according to the grading system and so on. But it's really a great help. Like I myself, I've bought quite a few from the marketplace, and I've sold a few also through the marketplace. And it's nice when you know that you're interacting within a regular membership. Lalo na dito sa Philippines, it's so hard to ship stuff in and out from here, especially watches. You know that. If we were in the States, okay lang eh. You could be part of a global community. Yeah, sure. And I'll just send me your label. I'll FedEx it to you tomorrow. And again, okay na. Tayo dito, paano na? So hard. So, you see all of the stuff online that you want to buy. You see it in eBay, you see it abroad and ganyan, but you can only drool. And then, but when it shows up in the PwC marketplace, ayan na, di ba? Alert na. Kasi you're able to actually go out, take a look at it, di ba? Meet with the guy selling it, and if all works well, then you buy it and enjoy it.
It was. There was one time someone was talking to me, and he said, and this is from a guy who ran a watch magazine group abroad, and he said, "What is in the water with you guys?" Because he said that the Philippines has this amazing collector base that they never expected, and we see that. There was literally one time when one of the guys from one of the more well-known global watch groups was saying, I can't find this, I can't find that. And I said, dude, I bet you 2 messages I'll find that watch for you. And it took me 1 message. And this wasn't, okay, you would not have the hard time finding this watch, but this guy connected to this big global watch group, watch forum, website, whatever, just couldn't find the watch. And so in a lot of ways, we're a lot more connected here than a lot of places abroad. If for example, we've done, let's say, like the Grand Seiko shoots we've done, we have a better collection of Grand Seiko sitting there in the Porsche showroom than I would bet you could find almost anywhere else.
Agree.
So we have a massive collector base in the country, and it's very, very good. And there was a friend of mine who's in one of the brands had said, the difference with watch buyers in the Philippines is they're very, very knowledgeable. They're not, and he was giving me other countries. He said, where here it's all about money or price and nothing else. Or here it's about what's the hottest watch and what can no one else get, and I want that. But in the Philippines, you can have that, but you're also going to be quoting numbers, and you're going to be asking questions. And my answer was yeah, because we couldn't get the watches for the longest time. So we would ask someone to buy them abroad and we had to give them all the information. But no, he said, but no, you guys have, there was one time, one of the oldest watch companies actually came to me and said, we want to have a dinner in the Philippines. We don't want to see anybody we've seen before. And we want to learn new things. So we put a small dinner together, and they talked about their watch company for like 5 minutes, and the rest of the time was their personal collection or whatever. And they said that was great because we never see these guys, because these aren't the guys that get invited to all the big shows or meets or whatever, but yet they have this massive amount of knowledge. And that's what I really see here is, I will bet you if we put a book like this and compared it to a book in other places from other countries, you would have a far more interesting and diverse collection, because it's just not about one thing. It's not about how much this costs. And Raffy, you and I have had this conversation about, there are just certain groups that it's just about trying to get a watch that no one else has, and that's really no fun. It's very, very shallow. It's not shallow, but it's just different. And then for us, it's different. And I think we see this in PwC. And I think it's awesome that you guys have managed to put this together and keep it going at this level. So, sorry, that was a soliloquy, but I'm just really impressed with what you did, because I know how hard it is.
Oh, that's a nice one right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Looking at that, man.
But I just to reinforce that notion, it really that's the thing about the group. It's not about the trophy. It's really more about the passion for watches in particular. But there's no specific. It's not a Rolex club. It's not a Seiko club. It's really a watch club. We welcome anyone and everyone to come and share. And the only thing we ask for is that you come in, is that you share with us stuff that's not fake, that's not counterfeit. And you're welcome to share with us modified or changed stuff, things that will personalize it. But we just look for genuine articles. Other than that, it's really open to anyone and everyone who wants to share.
Okay. Well, that was this has been a great conversation. That's a great cap on it. We have been here today with the guys behind the anniversary book, the anniversary watch, and the club itself, the Philippine Watch Club. We have been here with Oye Forres. We have been here with Raffy David, with our shooter, Kai Huang. We have spoken about how they started, and we have spoken more importantly about the stories behind all these pieces that people think are watches, or as Oya says, trophies, but they're not trophies in a lot of ways. They're part of someone's life. They're part of someone's story. And it's just really interesting the way they put this all together. It was very, very hard to do. I was there and I sat back and watched them when they made their decisions on this. And I was quite impressed, because they do pull out something that a lot of groups don't, which is a real passion. And I really enjoyed it. We hope you all enjoyed this as well. We are going to start doing this more often. It took us a while to do this one, didn't it, Rafi?
Yeah, a couple of weeks, but then again, all worth it. I mean, we were all more than eager to share the story that we put together.
Yeah. No, it's great. It's awesome. The book is available all over the place. It's extremely good. It's really funny because sometimes you recognize the watches. Sometimes you recognize the handles. Sometimes you recognize the story. You always recognize Kai's photography, though, so that's cool. But
yeah.
Anyway, okay, so thank you very, very much. We have done this. This is the first one we've done for watches, for Caliber. And we wanted to do this one in particular because we think it is like Caliber, it's a great story that came from the unexpected. It just came together because people love this stuff, and we're just happy to be part of. I'm not in any way connected to them, other than being a fan and I think a member. But I just like the way they did things, and they've been, just chugging along quietly, and it's a great story. So thank you very, very much for joining us. Thank you, Kai. Thank you, Rafi. Thank you, Oye. Thank you, all the members of the PwC that contributed to this book. And we will do this again soon. And maybe we'll talk to Kai about all the secrets to shoot watches. Or we'll talk to Oye about where we go to meet and eat while we talk about our watches. So anyway, thank you very, very much. We are Caliber, and this is our first chat with the PWC. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Car.